Have you ever added something to your cart, seen the full price, hesitated for a second, and then noticed the option, or four payments of $27, and suddenly, it didn't feel expensive anymore, not because it was cheaper, but because it felt lighter. That feeling, right there, is the hidden trap of buy now, pay later. And it's not about math, it's about psychology. Buy now, pay later, often called BNPL, lets you split purchases into smaller payments over weeks or months. Services like Affirm, Klarna, Afterpay, and PayPal have made it almost frictionless. No long applications, no visible interest up front, just a softer number at checkout. And it has exploded in popularity. Nearly 100 million Americans have used Buy Now, Pay Later services. Globally, the BNPL market is projected to exceed $500 billion within the next few years. In some surveys, more than 40% of users report missing at least one payment. So this isn't niche, it's mainstream, which makes understanding the psychology even more important. The first mechanism at work is something behavioral economists call the pain of paying. When you pay in full, your brain registers a loss immediately. It stings. That sting is protective. It forces you to evaluate whether the purchase is truly worth it. But when you split the payment into four smaller pieces, the pain shrinks. Not because the cost changed, but because the brain processes smaller losses differently. $200 feels heavy. Four payments of $50 feels manageable. Your brain doesn't calculate totals emotionally. It reacts to immediate impact. And BNPL reduces that immediate impact. But here's where it gets deeper. There's another psychological effect called temporal discounting. Humans naturally value present rewards more than future costs. The pleasure of owning something today feels vivid. The inconvenience of paying for it next month feels abstract, distant, less real. So your brain overvalues the present and undervalues the future. Buy now, pay later isn't just a payment method. It's a present bias amplifier, and that changes behavior. Research shows that when BNPL is offered, consumers tend to spend more per transaction. Average order values increase. Impulse purchases rise. Because the financial friction, that small moment of discomfort, has been softened. But the real trap isn't just spending more once. It's stacking. Many users don't have one installment plan. They have several. 4 payments here, another 4 there. One due next week, another in 2 weeks. Individually, each feels small. Collectively, they become pressure. Data from financial regulators shows that a significant percentage of BNPL users carry multiple active loans at the same time. And users of BNPL services are statistically more likely to have lower liquid savings and higher overall debt levels compared to non-users. That doesn't mean BNPL causes financial instability, but it does mean it attracts and amplifies financial vulnerability. There's also something subtle happening with identity. Buy now, pay later doesn't feel like debt. It feels like flexibility. It doesn't feel like borrowing. It feels like managing cash flow. That framing matters. Because when something doesn't feel like debt, your guard lowers. And then there's design. BNPL is integrated directly into checkout pages. Bright buttons, soft language, pay in 4, interest-free, quick approval, minimal friction, minimal resistance. The easier a behavior becomes, the more often it's repeated. And repetition builds habit. But here's the part no one talks about. The stress doesn't happen at checkout. It happens later. When multiple payments align in the same week. When your account balance feels tighter than expected. When you realize you've committed future income without fully feeling it at the time. That's when the delayed pain arrives. not dramatic, but cumulative. And because the decision felt small, the regret can feel confusing. You might think, it was only 4 payments. But 4 payments repeated enough times becomes a pattern. And patterns shape financial reality. Now, this isn't an argument that buy now, pay later is evil. For some people used intentionally, it can be a short-term cash flow tool. The trap isn't the tool, it's the psychology. So here's the question that protects you. Would I still buy this if I had to pay the full amount today? If the answer changes, that tells you something. Because when a purchase only makes sense divided into smaller emotional pieces, it may not make sense as a whole. The hidden trap of buy now, pay later isn't interest rates. It's perception. It reduces the pain of paying. It amplifies present bias. It lowers friction. It hides accumulation. And when cost feels lighter than it truly is, spending feels easier than it should. Understanding that doesn't mean you'll never use it. It means you'll use it consciously. And in a world designed to reduce your resistance, awareness is your leverage. This is Spendology, where we don't just talk about money. We talk about the psychology behind how you spend it. Because the most powerful financial decision is the one you make fully aware.